Lincoln Day 2023, Eva Elementary School. Your son...
Still talking about that.
Got to, man. Well, it's funny because I do have a connection with the guy that ripped the sign up. One of my really good friends. So I got to hear his side of it. And I also talked to you previously, and you told me your side of it. But I just wanted to say that your son displayed ultimate courage that day, in my eyes, peacefully protesting, which I don't think we see enough of. Peaceful protest. He's peacefully protesting Abraham Lincoln based upon information that he researched himself on YouTube. And being that I'm friends with the guy that ripped up your sign, I really do understand both sides. However, I do respect your son for standing up for what he believed in, and I do think that we should celebrate our kings and queens of Hawaii more frequently and more intentionally. And I think that was the whole point of what he was doing. So I just kind of wanted you to do a quick account of your role in that whole ordeal.
Yeah, so my kid was first grade, and he wanted to protest Abraham Lincoln on Abraham Lincoln Day. I didn't really know what that meant because I'd never really been to one before, but I do know that he was born in 2016, and he just been around protests his whole life. So this is kind of like what he knew. And, raise your kids how you want. I'll raise my kids how I want. I think that's how society should work. But I told him, like, boo, this is the most popular politician of all time. Like, you pick your target wisely. But what I didn't realize that there's going to be like 1,000 people there. I thought it was going to be like 20 people. It's during a school day. It's like parents were working. And you get there and there's like news cameras and all the politicians are there, all the school administrators, the whole DOE brass. I'm like, whoa, okay. So I helped him write the sign. People are like, well, he didn't write that sign. Yeah, of course not. He's first grade. Like I helped him write his sign. But I go up to him and I go, hey, you don't have to do this. Like, I didn't realize it was going to be like this. He's like, no, I'm just so glad. I didn't know where you were. Like, give me the sign. And I was like, okay. And people with first graders, I have a first grader now, my younger one. He's not really like that, right?
Yeah.
He's a different kind of kid. He's really physical. But they're like, he wouldn't think it out on his own. I'm like, you got to meet this kid, right? Or listen to that news interview he did after. Because that's how he is. So anyways, yeah, he did the thing. And it was like, at that moment, it was the kupuna thing. Like, I'm like, oh my God. He's just standing up there. He starts walking around, doing the chant, and he just stood there. And then the vice principal goes up, like, you got to leave. He goes, no. And he puts his fist up. So then, my wife starts crying. She puts her fist up. It was just like, oh my God, man. It was so intense. But it worked. The message got out there. And I think people were like, wait, when I was a kid, there was May Day.
Yeah.
What happened? There was Makua Day, Kupuna Day. They come and visit. They teach us about the culture. And now we're just celebrating Lincoln. And this is the school that it's like 99% Hawaiians and Filipinos. The school bell is taps, like the military bugle call. That's the bell. And it was set up, if you look at the history of that school, not to produce leaders like Punoho or Kamehameha. It was to produce plantation workers. Like that was the whole point. So you look at that context, it's like, nah, like we got to do better for these kids. We got to instill some confidence. You can't be telling them like, this is what a hero looks like and not let them see like themselves reflected in that and like who our heroes really are in Hawaii. Like teach them about George Helm, teach them about Little Kalani, Wilcox, like people that done amazing things for our society. Or they're Filipino, teach them about the Sakata, teach them about Rizal. Like there's just so many heroes we have, but it's just weird when you just have like, it's like that BYU mural where you just have like all the brown kids and they have like the one white guy and they're all giving them lays. It's like, I don't know, man.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think that's, even to me, I opened my eyes. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is like, we've gone backwards since the 90s.
Wow. And, that's very honorable, I feel. And I think that, after you zoom out from the situation, you can really understand the sentiment behind it. And, when I talked to Justin about it, he 20 something years in the U.S. military, chief fire department, federal fire department. And, their whole angle was, we took off of work. We just like see our kids dance. You know what I mean? Not necessarily thinking about the mana and Kuleana behind what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? It was hard in the moment.
I totally understand the frustration. Yeah. I mean, I think there was a lack of leadership. Like if I were principal or if I were one of the politicians up there, even if it was someone on the opposite side saying like, celebrate white supremacy or whatever, I'd still get up there and I'd be like, hey, everybody calm down. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
They were yelling F you at a 6-year-old.
Wow.
And nobody just stepped up to the mic and tried to calm things down. In fact, we were gaslighted and they wrote this letter signed by the principal and the DOE saying like, Thank you for remaining peaceful. And I'm like, had to get escorted out by cops.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid it was gonna. I'm like, hey, police, like, you can leave us alone, officer. Like, we're good. And he's like, no, I'm afraid for your safety. This is a mob situation. We got to get you out. And then they send a letter from the DOE saying, like, thank you for remaining peaceful. Like, that's messed up.
Yeah.
So I wish, folks that could have happened. So I'm not gonna blame the parents. That said, like, my kid does hula. They work really hard. This wasn't that kind of performance, right? It's like they probably practice like once or twice, and I get it's a family event and all that. So, yeah, but what are they? They're singing. They change the lyrics to pop songs. You know that song is like, I got my head out the sunroof, or whatever, like that weird song. But it's like, Lincoln is my hero. It's like, bro, it's like, I love Lincoln. I'm like, bro, this is like North Korea shit. You know what I mean? Like, when you start actually hearing it, you're like, well, what? This is a politician too. Like, you're politicizing the event. We're not politicizing the event. You're making the kids worship a politician. That's partisan and complicated, but what else?
Wow. We're all brainwashed to think that that's normal.
It's not normal, right? Like, if you saw it in another country, if you saw it happen in another country, you'd be like, whoa.
Some North Korea shit, like you said, bro. Wow. Okay, so I have just 2 more questions for you real quick. Who is Haunani K. Trask to you, and how do you honor her legacy?
Yeah, so Haunani, I think people, because I've been giving talks at the bandstand and stuff, they're like, oh, you're like Haunani. And I'm like, well, kind of. And I think later Haunani was like, hey, we got to affect change on the inside too. Culture people need to become more political. I believe that. But also, like, I look to Kupuna like Haunani for sure. I also look to like Vili Koki, like Robert Wilcox, who was there, did all the tactics, bro. This guy would organize a rifle club because he knew what was going to happen to the queen. And then he fought with that group of guys for a day and a half outside the palace. Among those guys, Prince Kuhio, Joseph Navahi, they all got locked up, thrown in prison, Stanford Dole. But the people revolted, so they had to pardon them. But they served the term anyways. They're like, I'm going to serve the sentence. I'm going to get out. They ran for office like Nelson Mandela style, and they all got in. So the inside and outside. And because they are so beloved by the people. And they ran through a third party, the Home Rule Party. Not Democrat, not Republican. And they won super majority of the seats in the legislature and Congress. Like right after overthrow. So of course, like the establishment's like, well, we got to figure out how to silence these guys. Like, they're too popular. So there was a campaign, but like their legacy, I think, just doesn't really, that story doesn't get told. You hear about Kuhio, but like Kuhio came out of that and, left the Home Rule Party, met with Henry Baldwin, one of the big 5 guys, and then joined the Republican Party and, pushed some of the stuff over the edge to one of the mainstream parties. But like originally he had like defect from that group of like Hawaiians that was like really trying to represent Hawaii for Hawaiians and for like the people that supported the kingdom, not just racial Hawaiians. And I think that is something that, kind of drives the work I do. Like, can we rebuild that unity outside the party system and, inside, outside tactics? Obviously, I'm not calling for violence right now. I think that's a way different context where they're pointing a gun to Kalaka's head with the Constitution and, they removed the queen through violence. But like, we need to be able to lay it all on the line. Like, are you willing to like live and die for Hawaii?